Long story short, when I was a kid, my dad took me to an Halloween haunted house. You know, those full of traps and random people in scary costumes jumping out of the shadows. So further into the house there was this sort of labyrinth where the floor out of nowhere proceeded to move back and forth, and you would hear a clown laughing. As I stepped in, I got scared and I passed out. Yeah, I believe I was 8 years old. And now you ask, why would your parents take you to a place like that in Halloween? Well, I don't know. At first was funny, but after the event I became really traumatized with haunted houses. However, I pretty much love them. How can I be traumatized with something that I freaking love? Oh man, I don't know, I'm a weirdo. So I love the concept of Halloween, the trick or treat thing, the creativity with the costumes and movies that take place at this time is like gold to me. A couple videos back, I mentioned Hell House LLC and a movie called The Houses October Built. These are really interesting, especially because of its format. Being a found footage, it is difficult to give it a chance, but I totally recommend this if you like freaking haunted houses. So a friend of mine recommended me a movie called Haunt, because he knew how much I love the concept. Haunt is an horror movie directed by Scott Beck and Brian Hoods. These guys were writers for a movie called A Quiet Place, which is a really awesome movie in my opinion. So I was really excited to see what they could do here. I'm glad that I watched this movie. Here, a group of friends decide to participate in an extreme haunted house to have some fun and hopefully some good scares. But this crew really is extreme and out of boundaries. This was a really refreshing contained experience. What I mean by that is this movie embraces the concept without trying to be something else. In a closed scenario that creates a claustrophobic environment involving tight space, dark tunnels to pass, scary detailed rooms and traps here and there. This put together provokes tension that adds value to the film. On top of that, there are scary people in costumes that want more than just scaring these people. Yeah, and what I'm fascinated about is how simple and direct this movie is. These characters are put in certain situations and they gotta escape from it. Nothing more. Yes, there's a backstory here which is important, don't get me wrong, but sometimes too much backstory can destroy a movie, especially when you don't have a purpose for the story itself. Here the backstory plays mostly around the lead character, but comes out as sweet, and it is used throughout the movie in a lot of strong moments. My excitement is all because this isn't a big budget horror film, but is way more effective than a lot of big budget horror movies out there. The characters are decent, yes, sometimes they can be really annoying and some decisions can be really dumb, but the cast overall gives really good performances, especially Kate Stevens as Harper, the lead character, and Henry Caldwell as Evan. I point these two because they were my favorite characters, but like I said, the cast does a really good job. Production design and sound design is really important in a film like this. Here, I would say that the sound is decent and for the most it's effective. In terms of production design, like I said, the scenario is fantastic, really claustrophobic and tense. Also, all of the creepy costumes are a big thing to praise and the makeup work is really well done. In terms of story, the way this film ends was really satisfying for me. It's a really good conclusion, just go watch, it's freaking amazing. About a few negatives, I definitely say that some events in the movie didn't work for me. Mostly cliché scenes that weren't necessary, simple moments where you can anticipate what is going to happen, and a few where some stuff is really unlikely to happen. Sometimes impossible things happen and you're like, oh okay, sure. I gotta be honest here, despite not being a big budget film, it has a good potential and delivers a solid watch overall. I'll give this movie a 7 out of 10. If you've seen it, let me know in the comments what did you think of it. If you like my content and you love my imperfect accent, feel free to check out my other videos and subscribe for more reviews in the future. See you guys!